Welcome in. It's the Nerd with your one and only host, yours truly, Colin CowNERD. Thanks for tuning in today. Like and subscribe to this video. It helps the channel so much. I truly appreciate it. So I know last week I mentioned the Super Mario Brothers movie, but I didn't get a chance to talk about any specifics. I had mentioned it was a fun time, but I have to say that's about it. Was it a good movie? Well, I'd say yes and no, and be warned, there are spoilers ahead. Let's start with what I enjoyed that I think anyone going into this movie would enjoy. First, the animation and visuals in this movie are outstanding. Mario's world is beautifully realized by Illumination Studios, from the bright and regal Mushroom Kingdom to the lava-ridden dark lands ruled by the evil Bowser, to the lush and tropical Kong Island. The action sequences were excellently choreographed and animated as well. Every action scene was exciting to watch. I think my personal favorite was the Rainbow Road Mario Kart scene. Looked fantastic, and there was a bunch of crazy, zany action all going on at once. That, to me, was the pinnacle of the movie. It works incredibly well, and feels like what a video game movie should look and feel like. Another aspect of the movie that I believe worked well was the brotherly dynamic of Mario and Luigi. I think they honestly nailed it there. Mario and Luigi are in business together at the beginning of the movie, and when they get separated through the warp pipe, Mario will stop at nothing to make sure his little brother is safe. Likewise, Luigi is portrayed as a typical little brother, trying to figure out where he fits in, and he tends to take a back seat and rely on the leadership of his older brother Mario. There are several moments that play well on this dynamic, and I think it works really well. Lastly, there are so many Easter eggs in this movie for long-time Mario fans. It's interesting, I thought I caught a lot of Easter eggs on my initial screening of the movie, but since I've seen it, I've been watching some YouTube videos pointing out just how many Easter eggs there are, and I was surprised with how many I missed. It's truly astonishing how much the creators of the movie were able to sneak in tributes and homage to Nintendo and the Mario series as a whole. That sounds like a lot of good, right? So you're probably wondering, well, Colin, why then do you think the movie is just okay? Well, I would say to most moviegoers, this movie just doesn't offer much more than what I mentioned. And I would assume for most moviegoers that probably just won't cut it, myself included. First off, there's not much of a plot to this movie. It can be summed up as this. Bowser wants to marry Peach and destroy the Mushroom Kingdom if she refuses. Mario teams up with Peach and Toad to get the Kong army to stop Bowser and rescue Luigi. That's it. There is hardly anything else of note. Now, I know my critics will be saying, but Colin, the Mario games hardly have any story, so why should the movie? But I would respond, is that really a good enough excuse? This is a 90-minute movie that basically plays out like a glorified video game demo. I would also say that there is very little lore established and very little world building. Sure, there are a lot of kingdoms in the realm along with the Mushroom Kingdom, but did we really learn anything about them? Did we learn about any interesting dynamics between the kingdoms? No, we just got here's the Mushroom Kingdom and here's the Kong Kingdom. They look pretty, but there is not much more than that, and I'd go as far to say that there isn't too much to build on in the inevitable sequels. I also felt confused with Bowser as the villain, and I think the movie handled him poorly. In the opening scene, I thought they nailed Bowser. He was intimidating, he was ferocious, he was a threatening villain, and it was believable that people were scared of him. But then the movie decided to make him goofy with the whole Mary Peach story arc. They tried to make it funny, but I personally feel it fell totally flat. It's a shame they weren't able to handle his character better. And speaking of the humor in general, I don't know about you, but I feel a lot of the moments the script writers thought would be funny just weren't. There were certain points where something silly would happen, and sure, the kids would laugh, but I didn't. In fact, I bet most parents didn't even laugh. The humor just didn't land right in this movie. Lastly, I feel it was a completely missed opportunity to have the final climatic battle against Bowser happen in Brooklyn. I've praised the movie's visuals for the most part, but I think they dropped the ball here. How many great set pieces have there been for final boss fights with Bowser throughout Mario's gaming history? A lot. And for his major cinematic experience, they choose Brooklyn to have the final fight with Bowser? I personally think it was a terrible idea and a completely missed opportunity. I think it was a pathetic attempt at world building by trying to have the real world and the fantastical Mushroom Kingdom collide, but it felt rushed. Why couldn't you just follow the formula of the games and have the finale at Bowser's castle? Imagine the final fight taking place with pools of lava surrounding our heroes. I think the stakes would have felt a little bit higher. At the end of the day, I think the studio was aiming at two groups of people for this movie, and they delivered in that respect. Fans of the Mario franchise and kids will love this movie, and you can see that from the positive user scores on review aggregation sites. But that critic score is telling, and I find myself siding with the critics. It's a fun movie, but not much more than that, and I'll find it difficult to get much out of watching it again. Given everything I've mentioned, I give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a 6 out of 10. The visuals and fan service are fantastic, but they only take this otherwise lackluster movie so far. But do you agree with me? Am I totally off my rocker? Maybe I am, as it seems like this movie could be on pace to net $1 billion, which is just insane. Is the Mario movie good or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to make sure you never miss an episode of The Nerd with Colin CowNERD.